40 years old, 200 guests, my dream party in my own house, and there she was, standing next to my husband, wearing a dress that I paid for, smiling at me like I was the one who didn't belong. His mistress, at my birthday party, in my house, eating my food, drinking my champagne. And Derek, my husband of 8 years. He introduced her to our pastor, to my mama, to my best friends, called her a business associate with a straight face while his hand rested on the small of her back. He thought he was humiliating me, thought he was showing me my place, thought this was his moment to prove he had all the power. But here's what my husband didn't know, what nobody in that room knew. I had been planning this night for 6 months. Every single detail, every guest, every camera angle, every document in my purse. See, I'm not just some wife. I'm a forensic accountant. I find hidden money for a living. I trace fraud. I build cases that put people in prison. I see numbers that other people miss. And for 6 months, I had been building a case against him. He wanted to bring his side piece to my party fine. I was about to give them both a gift they would never forget. Let me tell you how a man who thought he was smarter than me ended up losing everything. His wife, his house, his cars, his reputation, his freedom, all because he underestimated the woman who paid for everything he had. Before I take you back to the beginning, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button right now. Click that notification bell. Because this story is about to change how you see everything. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. And if you've ever been underestimated by someone who was supposed to love you, type "final gift" in the comments. I see you. I feel you, and this story is for you. Now let me tell you how it all started, how I went from being invisible to being unstoppable, how I turned my 40th birthday into his funeral. Not a real funeral, but the death of everything he thought he had. It began 6 months before the party, on a Tuesday, the day I finally opened my eyes. My name is Monica Pierce. I'm 39 years old, about to turn 40. I'm a senior forensic accountant at one of the biggest firms in Atlanta. I have my CPA license, my MBA from Howard University, and 15 years of experience finding fraud that other people miss. I make $145,000 a year. I've saved over $180,000 in my personal account. My retirement fund has over $300,000. I own investment properties. I pay 70% of our mortgage. On paper, I am a successful Black woman who has built something real. But in my own house, in my own marriage, I was invisible. Let me tell you what a typical day looked like for me. 5 in the morning. My alarm goes off. Derek is still asleep. We'll be asleep for another 2 hours. I get up quietly because God forbid I wake him. He needs his rest, you understand, even though he hasn't had a real job in 3 years. I go downstairs. I make his breakfast. Eggs over easy, not too runny, not too hard. Turkey bacon extra crispy. Toast with butter on both sides. Coffee with 2 sugars and a splash of cream. Exactly how he likes it. Then I lay out his clothes. Yes, I lay out a 42-year-old man's clothes every morning, because if I don't, he'll wear something inappropriate, and it'll somehow be my fault that he doesn't look professional. I pack his lunch because eating out is expensive, but he still spends $60 on lunch anyway. I just don't know that yet. Then I shower, get dressed, do my hair and makeup in the dark because the bathroom light bothers him, and I leave for work before he even opens his eyes. I work 10, sometimes 12 hours. I audit million-dollar accounts. I find embezzlement schemes that executives tried to hide. I testify in court. I build cases that send people to prison. Then I come home. And you know what I come home to? Nothing done. Dishes in the sink. Laundry in the basket where I left it 3 days ago. No dinner started, no groceries bought, nothing. And there's Derek, on the couch, watching ESPN, still in his pajamas at 6 in the evening. "What's for dinner?" he asks without looking at me. That's the first thing he says to me. Not, "How was your day?" Not, "You look tired." Not, "Let me help you." What's for dinner? And I cook. Because if I don't, he'll order expensive takeout on the credit card I pay. Or he'll complain to his mother about how I don't take care of him. Or he'll give me the silent treatment for 3 days. So I cook, I clean, I do laundry, I pay bills, I manage our finances. I schedule his doctor appointments. I pick up his prescriptions. I remind him to call his mother. I do everything. And Derek. Derek is a business consultant. That's what he tells people. What that really means is he had 3 failed businesses that I funded, and now he networks at the gym and takes meetings at Starbucks that never lead to anything. He used to be a regional sales director. Good job, good money. Then he got laid off 4 years ago. Said he wanted to be his own boss. Said he was tired of making other people rich. So I supported him. I paid for his business coach. I funded his first venture, a sports memorabilia company. $30,000, gone in 8 months. Then I funded his second venture, a drop shipping business. $45,000, gone in 6 months. Then his third venture, some kind of cryptocurrency consulting thing that I never really understood. $25,000, gone in 4 months. $100,000 of my money, our money, my money, gone. And not once did he apologize. Not once did he offer to get a regular job. Not once did he act like he owed me anything. Instead, you know what he said. He said I was negative. Said I didn't believe in his dreams. Said successful people fail before they succeed, and I just didn't understand entrepreneurship. Meanwhile, I'm the one paying for his luxury car. The BMW SUV he drives to the gym every day. It's in my name because his credit is destroyed. I pay the note every month. $687. I'm the one paying the mortgage on our house, the house that my inheritance helped buy. My grandmother left me $80,000 when she passed. Every penny went into the down payment. But somehow Derek acts like he built this house with his bare hands. I'm the one paying for his mother's medical bills. Miss Evelyn. Oh, let me tell you about Miss Evelyn. She moved in with us temporarily 3 years ago, after her husband died and she couldn't afford to live alone, even though she got a $200,000 life insurance payout that she never mentions. For 3 years she has lived in my house, eating my food, running up my electricity bill, criticizing everything I do. Monica, this chicken is dry. Monica, you need to clean behind the refrigerator. Monica, why are you always working? A wife should be home with her husband. Monica, you know Derek's last girlfriend could really cook. 3 years of that, in my own house, while I pay $400 a month for her medications because Derek forgets to handle it. And what does Derek say when I bring up the fact that his mother treats me like hired help? That's just how she is. Be the bigger person. She's my mama. His mama, in my house, that I pay for, treating me like the maid while her son contributes nothing. And then there's Tasha, his sister, 38 years old, 2 kids, can't hold a job, always has an emergency. Monica, I need $800 for rent. Monica, my car broke down. Monica, the kids need school supplies. In 8 years of marriage, I have given that woman over $30,000. Loans, she called them. Loans she has never paid back, not $1. And if I ever say no, if I ever hesitate, she runs to Derek. And Derek looks at me like I'm the most selfish person on earth. That's my sister Monica. That's my blood. How can you be so cold? Cold. I'm cold. I work 60 hours a week. I carry this entire household. I fund everyone's life. And I'm cold because I don't want to give another $1,000 to a woman who has never even said thank you. But you know what the worst part is? The worst part isn't the money. It isn't the disrespect. It isn't the exhaustion. The worst part is that I let it happen. I'm a smart woman. I know I'm smart. I find fraud for a living. I see patterns that other people miss. I notice everything. But in my own life, in my own marriage, I was blind. No, that's not true. I wasn't blind. I just didn't want to see. Because seeing meant admitting that the man I married didn't love me, that I was just a resource to him, an ATM with benefits, a maid with a paycheck. Seeing meant admitting that I had wasted 8 years of my life on someone who saw me as beneath him, even though I made more money, even though I paid for everything, even though I held it all together. In his mind, he was still the man, and I was supposed to be grateful that he chose me. For 8 years, I told myself it would get better. He'll find himself. He'll get a job. He'll appreciate me eventually. I just need to be patient. I just need to be supportive. I just need to be a good wife. I went to church every Sunday and smiled. The Washington family is so blessed. That's what Pastor Davis always said. and I smiled and said amen while dying inside. I had friends who noticed. Patricia, my older sister, told me from the beginning that Derek was no good. My best friend Denise kept asking if I was okay. My colleague Angela kept saying I looked tired, but I kept smiling, kept pretending, kept carrying, because that's what strong black women do, right? We carry. We endure. We hold our families together. We don't complain. We don't fall apart. We just keep going until we can't anymore, until something breaks, until we finally open our eyes. It started about 6 months before my birthday. Little things. Things most wives would miss. But I'm not most wives. I'm a forensic accountant. I notice everything. I just didn't want to believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was the phone. Derek always used to leave his phone on the counter, face up, unlocked, never cared if I saw it, because there was nothing to see. Or at least that's what I thought. But suddenly his phone was always face down, always in his pocket, always going off at strange hours. One night around midnight, I heard it buzz. Derek grabbed it so fast you would have thought it was on fire. He took it to the bathroom to answer. Came back 10 minutes later talking about work stuff. Work stuff. At midnight. From a man who hasn't had a real job in 3 years. I didn't say anything. I just noticed. Then there was the password. We used to know each other's passwords. That's what married people do. But one morning I tried to check the weather on his phone, and it was locked. New password. When I asked him what it was, he got defensive. "Why do you need to know my password? You checking up on me?" "No," I said. "I just wanted to check the weather. He didn't give me the password. I didn't push. But I noticed." Then there was the cologne. Derek never wore cologne. In 8 years of marriage, I never bought him cologne because he said he didn't like it. Too strong. Gave him headaches. But suddenly there was a new bottle on his dresser. Expensive. The kind that costs $150. And he was wearing it every day, even to go to the gym. I asked him where he got it. "Bought it myself," he said. "Thought I'd try something new." With what money I wanted to ask, but I didn't. I just noticed. Then there was the gym. Derek never went to the gym. 8 years of marriage, and I had been begging him to work out with me. He always said he didn't have time. Said the gym was boring. Said he'd rather play basketball with his boys. But suddenly he was at the gym every single day, sometimes twice a day, coming home sweaty and energized, talking about protein shakes and muscle groups. I should have been happy. My husband was finally taking care of himself. But I noticed that he never invited me, never suggested we go together. And when I asked, he said, "The gym is my alone time. Don't take that from me." Alone time. At the gym. For 3 hours a day. Then there was the grooming. New underwear I didn't buy. Getting haircuts every week instead of every month. Manscaping. Yes, manscaping. After 8 years of me asking and him refusing. One day I found a receipt in his pocket. From a spa, a men's spa, for a facial, a massage, and something called body contouring. $180 on my credit card. I didn't say anything, but I noticed. Then there was his attitude toward me. Derek was never affectionate. I had accepted that about him. Some men just aren't touchy-feely, but suddenly he didn't want to touch me at all. If I tried to hug him, he went stiff. If I tried to kiss him, he turned his cheek. If I tried to be intimate, he always had an excuse. Tired, not in the mood. His back hurt, but he had energy for the gym. He had energy to stay out until midnight. He just didn't have energy for me. And then came the fighting. Over nothing. The milk was expired. The house was too hot. I parked too close to his car. I breathed too loud while he was watching TV. Everything I did was wrong. Everything I said annoyed him. He started looking at me with something that looked like disgust, like I was a stranger in his house, an annoyance he had to tolerate. "Why are you always nagging?" he'd say, when I hadn't said anything. "Why are you so boring?" he'd say, when I was just sitting there. "You've really let yourself go," he said one morning, looking at me in my bathrobe. The same bathrobe I'd worn for years, the same body I'd had for years. Suddenly, it wasn't good enough. I started questioning myself. Maybe I was boring. Maybe I had let myself go. Maybe this was my fault. That's what he wanted me to think. That's what abusers do. They make you question your own reality until you don't trust yourself anymore. But here's the thing about being an accountant. I don't just trust feelings. I trust numbers. I trust evidence. I trust paper trails. And something in my gut told me to start looking at the numbers. So one Wednesday afternoon, I logged into our joint bank account, the one where both our paychecks were supposed to go. I wanted to pay the utility bill. The balance stopped my heart. $347. $347 in an account that should have had $4,800. My paycheck had been deposited on Friday, $4,216 after taxes. Where was it I checked the transaction history? My stomach turned into ice. ATM withdrawal, $1,000. ATM withdrawal, $1,500. ATM withdrawal, $2,000. All Marcus. All in the last week. Where did the money go? I didn't know yet, but I was about to find out. I went to the filing cabinet where we kept our financial documents. The credit card statement was there, the one in my name for the joint account. I opened it, and everything I thought I knew about my marriage shattered into a million pieces. The credit card statement was 12 pages long. 12 pages of charges I had never made. Dinner at Capitol Grill, $347. I don't eat at Capitol Grill. Dinner at STK Steakhouse, $412. I've never been to STK. Four Seasons Hotel, downtown Atlanta, $856 for one night. I have never set foot in the Four Seasons Hotel. Tiffany & Co., $2,400. I have never received anything from Tiffany's. Louis Vuitton, $1,800. I don't own a Louis Vuitton bag. Flight to Miami, 2 tickets, $1,200. I have never been to Miami. Flight to New York, 2 tickets, $800. I haven't been to New York since college. 2 tickets, every flight. 2 tickets. My hand started shaking. I wasn't just looking at spending. I was looking at a whole other life. A life my husband was living with someone else, on my credit card, with my money. But I needed proof, real proof, the kind that would stand up in court. I'm a forensic accountant. I find hidden things, and I know where to look. Derek had a laptop, an old one he used for his business ventures. He'd left it in his office buried under papers. I knew his password because it was the same password he used for everything. His mother's birthday. He never changed it because he thought I was too stupid to care. I opened the laptop. I found his email. And there it was, hundreds of messages, to someone named Tiff Baby with a heart emoji. I read them, all of them, every single one. Can't wait to see you tonight, beautiful. Last night was amazing. You're amazing. I've never felt this way about anyone. You understand me in ways she never could. Soon we'll be together for real, just us. Once I'm done with Monica, it'll be our time. Once I'm done with Monica, that's what he said. Once I'm done with Monica, like I was a task on his to-do list, like I was garbage he needed to take out. I kept reading. She doesn't suspect anything. She's too busy working to notice. Trust me, she's clueless. Always has been. After her birthday party, I'm filing. Using the party as the cover. Everyone will see how crazy she is when I leave. After her birthday party. My 40th birthday party. The party I had been planning for months. The party I was paying for. He was going to use my own party to humiliate me. He was going to leave me in front of everyone I loved, make me look crazy, make himself look like the victim. That was his plan all along. I felt something rise up in my chest. I thought it was going to be tears. I thought I was going to break down right there on the floor of his office. But it wasn't tears. It was rage. Cold, clean, crystal clear rage. This man had spent the last 18 months living a double life, with my money, in my house, lying to my face every single day. And now he was planning to destroy me publicly at my own birthday party, leave me with nothing, take everything I had built, and hand it to some 29-year-old girl named Tiffany who thought she was getting a prize. She wasn't getting a prize. She was getting my leftovers, my debt, my problems. But she didn't know that yet. I kept searching, found his other phone, hidden in his golf bag, the one he told me he lost last year, the one I paid to replace, thousands of messages, photos, nothing explicit but intimate enough, pet names, inside jokes. I love you texts at 2 in the morning while I was sleeping next to him. I found out who she was. Tiffany James, 29 years old, pharmaceutical sales rep. They met at some industry conference 18 months ago. She worked at the same gym he suddenly loved so much. I found her Instagram. Pretty girl. Young. Thought she was living her best life with a successful businessman. Did she know he was married? The texts suggested she did. Did she know he was broke? Absolutely not. He told her he paid for everything. Told her I was the freeloader. Told her I was crazy controlling cold. He had created a whole narrative where he was the victim, where I was the villain, where she was the angel saving him from his terrible marriage, $2,400 at Tiffany's. That was for her, the ring. He bought her a ring with my money. He was planning to leave me and propose to her, with money he stole from me. I sat in that office for 3 hours, reading everything, documenting everything, screenshots, downloads, timestamps, everything. When I was done, I had 847 pages of evidence. Every text, every email, every charge, every lie. I closed the laptop, put it exactly where I found it, put the phone back in the golf bag. I walked to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I smiled. Because in that moment, I realized something that changed everything. Derek thought he was smarter than me. He thought because I was quiet, I was weak. Because I was patient, I was stupid. Because I loved him, I was blind. He forgot who he married. He married an accountant, a forensic accountant, someone who builds cases for a living, someone who destroys careers with numbers and evidence, someone who sees everything. He wanted to make my birthday party his victory. I was going to make it his funeral. Not a real funeral, but the death of everything he thought he had. He had no idea what was coming, no idea at all, and that was exactly how I wanted it. The next morning I made his breakfast. Eggs over easy, turkey bacon, coffee with 2 sugars, just like always. "Good morning, baby," I said, kissing him on the cheek, the same cheek that had been pressed against her pillow the night before. "Morning," he grunted, not looking at me, already on his phone, probably texting her. "I'm really excited about the birthday party," I said. "It's going to be perfect." "Yeah," he said. "It'll be something to remember." "Oh, baby, you have no idea." I went to work that day, and during my lunch break I made 4 phone calls. One to my sister Patricia, one to my best friend Denise, one to my colleague Angela, and one to my godmother, Judge Lorraine Whitfield. I told them everything, and then we started planning. Derek wanted to bring his mistress to my party. I was about to give them both a gift they would never forget. End of Act 1. The next morning was a Saturday. Derek was still asleep when I left the house at 6:30. Told him I was going to the gym. He didn't even open his eyes, just grunted something that might have been, "Okay." I drove to my sister Patricia's house. She lives about 20 minutes away in a nice neighborhood in Decatur. Been there for 15 years. Raised 3 kids in that house after her divorce. Knows more about surviving a bad marriage than anyone I know. When I pulled up, I saw 2 other cars already there. Denise's white Mercedes, Angela's black Lexus. They had gotten my message. Patricia opened the door before I could knock, took one look at my face, and pulled me inside. "I made coffee," she said. "Strong. Something tells me we're going to need it." The 4 of us sat in her living room. Patricia, my big sister, 52-years-old salon owner, divorced for 12 years, the strongest woman I know. She warned me about Derek from the beginning. Told me he had user written all over him. I didn't listen. She never said I told you so. Not once. Denise, my best friend since nursing school. Yes, I started in nursing before I switched to accounting. Long story. Denise owns an event planning company now. Very successful. She's the one planning my 40th birthday party. Been married for 15 years to a good man. Knows what a real marriage looks like. Angela, my colleague and friend, HR director at my company, sharp as a razor, knows employment law, corporate policy, and how to document everything. She's been through her own drama, caught her ex-husband with his secretary 5 years ago, took him for everything he had, and on the video call screen, my godmother, Judge Lorraine Whitfield, retired family court judge, 62 years old, seen every kind of divorce, every kind of betrayal, every kind of scheme. Nothing surprises her anymore. I told them everything. I started from the beginning. The phone behavior, the cologne, the gym, the credit card statements, the texts, the emails, the other woman, the plan to humiliate me at my own birthday party. I showed them the evidence, 847 pages, every receipt, every message, every lie documented and time-stamped. When I finished, the room was silent. Patricia spoke first. Her voice was shaking, not with sadness, with rage. I'm going to kill him. I'm literally going to kill him. Where is he right now? I'll go over there and— Pat, Judge Lorraine interrupted from the screen. Sit down. Violence won't help Monica. Strategy will. Patricia sat, but her hands were still shaking. Denise was crying. Monica, I'm so sorry. I've been planning this party for months. I had no idea. He seemed so— He was helping with the guest list. He was excited about it. He was excited because he was planning to destroy me, I said. My voice was calm, surprisingly calm. He's been planning this for months, using my own birthday as cover for his exit. Angela had her phone out scrolling through the evidence I had emailed her. This is textbook, she said. Financial abuse, fraud. He took out credit cards in your name without permission. That's identity theft. He's been using marital funds for an extramarital affair. That's dissipation. This isn't just divorce material. This is criminal. Judge Lorraine nodded on the screen. Angela's right. But here's what you need to understand, Monica. You have two choices right now. Everyone turned to look at her. Choice 1. You react emotionally. You confront him today. You scream, you cry, you throw him out. And you know what happens? He spins it. He tells everyone you're crazy, just like he's been telling that girl. He hides assets. He prepares his defense. He makes you look like the villain. She paused. Choice 2. You think strategically. You stay quiet. You let him think he's winning. And you build a case so airtight that when you finally make your move, he has nowhere to run. You take everything. The house, the money, his reputation, his freedom. She leaned closer to the camera. Monica, baby, you're a forensic accountant. You build cases for a living. You find fraud. You destroy people with evidence. Are you going to let this man who has been living off you for 8 years, outsmart you? I looked at my godmother, the woman who had been like a second mother to me since my own mother passed, the woman who had seen hundreds of marriages dissolve in her courtroom, the woman who knew exactly how these things worked. No, I said, I'm not. Then what are you going to do? I took a breath. I'm going to let him execute his plan. I'm going to let him think he's winning. I'm going to smile and cook his breakfast and plan my party like nothing is wrong. I looked at each of them. And then I'm going to destroy him, in front of everyone, at my own birthday party. I'm going to give him exactly what he wanted, a public moment, just not the one he was expecting. Patricia started to smile. That dangerous smile I remembered from childhood, the one that meant someone was about to get exactly what they deserved. Now that's my sister, she said. Denise wiped her tears. The party. We can use the party. I control everything. The venue, the guest list, the AV system, whatever you need. Angela nodded. I'll help you document everything, every transaction, every lie. We'll build a file so complete his lawyer will weep. Judge Lorraine smiled on the screen. I know the best divorce attorney in Georgia. Her name is Vivian Cross. She owes me a favor. I'll make a call. I looked at these women. My sister, my best friend, my colleague, my godmother, my circle. Derek thought I was alone, thought I had nobody, thought he had isolated me completely. He had no idea. So what's the plan? Patricia asked. What do we do first? I pulled out my laptop, opened a new spreadsheet, old habits. First, we need to understand exactly what I own and what he thinks he owns. Then we need to protect my assets. Then we need to prepare the legal documents, and then... I looked at Denise. Then we need to plan the best birthday party anyone has ever seen. One that Derek will never, ever forget. Denise grinned. Girl, I've been planning events for 15 years, but this is going to be my masterpiece. We got to work. That same afternoon, I met with attorney Vivian Cross. Judge Lorraine had called her that morning. By 2 o'clock, I was sitting in her office downtown with a box full of documents. Vivian Cross was everything I needed. 55 years old, former prosecutor, now the most feared divorce attorney in Atlanta. She had a reputation for destroying husbands who thought they could outsmart their wives. She spent 2 hours going through my evidence. Every page, every receipt, every screenshot. When she finished, she looked at me with something like admiration. Mrs. Pierce, she said, in 20 years of practice, I have never seen a case this well documented. You've done half my job for me. I'm an accountant, I said. Documentation is what I do. Good, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change everything. She pulled out a legal pad. Let's start with the house. Who's on the deed? Both of us. And the down payment. My inheritance. $80,000 from my grandmother. Do you have documentation of that? I have everything, the will, the bank transfer, the closing documents. She smiled. In Georgia, inheritance is considered separate property. Even if the house is in both names, you can prove that $80,000 came from your separate assets. That's yours. What about the mortgage payments? Who's been paying them? Me, for 8 years. Auto pay from my personal checking account. Do you have records? I pulled out a folder. 8 years of bank statements. Every single mortgage payment highlighted. All from my account. Vivian actually laughed. Monica, this man has been living in your house, sleeping in your bed, and contributing almost nothing. Do you know what that means legally? I shook my head. It means you have a claim for unjust enrichment. It means the equity in that house is primarily yours. He might have his name on the deed, but you have 8 years of receipts proving you paid for everything. She turned to another page. Now, the cars. Who owns them? Both in my name. Derek's credit was too bad to get approved. Who makes the payments? I do. So you own 2 vehicles that are legally in your name paid for with your money, and he drives one of them because you let him... Yes. Those are your cars, Monica. Not marital property. Your property. I was starting to understand. For 8 years, I had been carrying everything, paying for everything. But I had also been protecting everything, without even knowing it. What about the credit cards? I asked. The ones he ran up. Vivian's expression hardened. That's where it gets interesting. You said he has credit cards in your name that you didn't authorize. He said they were for emergencies, said he needed access to credit for his business ventures. I signed some paperwork years ago, but the spending these charges, I never approved any of it. $47,000. Yes. On jewelry, hotels, flights, dinners with another woman? Yes. She wrote something on her pad. That's fraud. It's identity theft. And it's dissipation of marital assets, meaning he used marital funds or credit that you're responsible for on an extramarital affair. Courts don't like that at all. She looked at me. Monica, not only can we make sure he's responsible for that debt, we can potentially pursue criminal charges. This isn't just about divorce. He committed crimes against you. Criminal charges. I hadn't even considered that. What about the money he took from the joint account, the withdrawals? Same thing. If he withdrew marital funds to spend on his mistress, that's dissipation. He'll have to account for every penny, and if he can't prove it went to legitimate expenses, he'll owe you half of everything he took. I sat back in my chair. For 8 years, I had felt like I was losing, like I was giving and getting nothing in return, like I was being drained dry by a man who didn't appreciate me. But the whole time I was building a case. Every receipt I kept, every payment I made, every document I filed, it was all evidence, evidence that would destroy him. Now, Vivian said, let's talk strategy. You said he's planning to leave you at your birthday party. Yes, he wants to make a scene, make me look crazy, use it as his exit. And you want to turn it around on him. I want to expose him, in front of everyone, our friends, our family, our church. I want them to see who he really is. Vivian nodded slowly. That's risky. Public confrontations can backfire. But if done correctly, if you maintain composure and let the evidence speak for itself, it can be devastating. She thought for a moment. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to prepare everything in advance. Divorce petition, asset freeze, fraud complaint, restraining order if needed. Everything ready to file Monday morning after the party. She looked at me. At the party, you stay calm. You let him think he's in control. And at the right moment, you present the evidence. Not hysterically, not emotionally, calmly. Like you're presenting a case, which you are. And then you have a process server there to hand him the papers, in front of everyone. So there's no dispute about whether he was served. 200 witnesses. I smiled. It was the first real smile I'd had in days. One more thing, Vivian said. The girlfriend, Tiffany. What do you know about her? 29, pharmaceutical sales. Met him at a conference. He told her he was separated filing for divorce. She thinks she's getting a catch. Does she know about his finances? His debt? His failed businesses? No, he told her he pays for everything. Told her I'm the freeloader. Vivian smiled, a cold professional smile. Then she's in for quite a surprise. When she finds out the man she thought was successful is actually broke and about to be exposed for fraud, she'll run. They always do. I gathered my documents. One question, I said. Why are you helping me? Judge Lorraine said you were expensive. I can afford it, but... Vivian looked at me for a long moment. 20 years ago, I was you. Successful, professional, married to a man who thought he was smarter than me, who spent my money, who cheated on me, who tried to leave me with nothing. She stood up. I didn't have anyone to help me. I fought alone. Took me 3 years and cost me everything. But I learned, and now I make sure women like us don't have to fight alone. She extended her hand. Consider this a favor to your godmother, and to every woman who ever thought she wasn't smart enough to beat a man at his own game. I shook her hand. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. We have work to do. And Monica, yes, that birthday party, make sure you wear something fabulous. Queens don't crumble, they conquer. For 5 months I lived 2 lives. At home I was the same Monica, quiet, patient, obedient. The wife who made breakfast and packed lunches and smiled when her husband ignored her. I cooked Derek's dinner every night, washed his clothes, ironed his shirts, let him spend money I knew was going to Tiffany, let him lie to my face about where he was going, let him think he was winning. Do you know how hard that was, to sleep next to a man who was planning to destroy you, to kiss him goodbye, knowing exactly where he was going to say, I love you, and hear him say it back, knowing he didn't mean a single word? It was torture. Pure daily torture. But I had something stronger than pain. I had purpose. I had a plan. And every day, while Derek thought I was being a good, stupid wife, I was building the case that would end him. During my lunch breaks, I met with Vivian. We went through every document, every account, every asset. I learned things about my own marriage that I never knew. I learned that Derek had tried to take out a loan against the house without telling me. $100,000. He was denied because my name was on the deed and I hadn't signed. He never mentioned it. Just pretended it didn't happen. I learned that he had applied for 6 credit cards in my name over the past 3 years. 3 were approved. He maxed them all out. $72,000 in debt I didn't know I had. I learned that his business ventures were even worse than I thought. He had told investors he had capital, my capital, made promises with my money backing him. When the businesses failed, some of those investors lost everything. There was a potential lawsuit coming that he never told me about. Every day I discovered something new, some new lie, some new betrayal, some new way he had used me and my money for his own benefit. And every day I added it to the file. By month 2, the file was over 1,000 pages. Bank statements, credit card records, loan applications, text messages, emails, photos of jewelry he bought for her, screenshots of their conversations, a complete timeline of the affair. By month 3, Vivian said it was the most comprehensive case she had ever seen. If this goes to trial, she said, his lawyer will advise him to settle, because they cannot win against this. But I didn't want him to settle quietly. I wanted him exposed. I wanted everyone to see. Angela helped me document everything at home. She taught me about metadata, about timestamps, about creating records that would hold up in court. Every conversation I had with Derek I would write down afterward. Date, time, what he said, what I said. Witnesses, if there were any. Courts love documentation, Angela told me. The more you have, the more credible you are. Make yourself impossible to doubt. Patricia helped me stay strong. Every Sunday I went to her house, let myself fall apart for a few hours, cried, screamed, said all the things I couldn't say at home. Let it out, she would say, holding me. Let it all out, and then put your mask back on and finish the job. That's what it was, a job, the most important job of my life. Denise and I planned the party in secret. She knew what I wanted, a beautiful event, 200 guests, everyone who mattered, family, friends, church members, colleagues, all of them there to witness. The AV system, I told her. I need complete control of the screens. Done. I'll make sure you have access. Nobody else will be able to touch it. And the seating. I want Tiffany front and center, where everyone can see her. Denise smiled. Girl, I'll put her right under the spotlight. We planned the music, the lighting, the timeline, every detail designed to build toward one moment, the moment when everything would change. While I planned, Derek planned too. He had no idea I knew, but I watched him execute his own scheme. He started being nicer to me, bringing me flowers, telling me he loved me. I knew why. He was building his alibi, creating witnesses who would say, but he seemed so devoted when he left. He invited Tiffany to the party himself, called Denise pretending I had suggested it. Monica wants to invite this new client of mine, Tiffany James, important for business. Denise called me immediately. He's inviting her. Should I block it? No, I said. Add her to the list, VIP seating. He started talking about the future, about how things would be different after my birthday, how he had plans for us, how this birthday would be a new beginning. He had no idea how right he was. One night about 3 months in, I almost broke. He came home late, 3 a.m, smelling like her, like that cheap perfume she wore. And he had the nerve to climb into bed next to me, put his arm around me, whisper, "I love you, Monica," into my neck. I lay there in the dark, his arm around me, his breath on my skin, and I wanted to scream. Wanted to turn around and claw his face, wanted to demand to know how he could do this, how he could lie so easily, how he could betray me so completely. But I didn't. I lay still, breathed slowly, let him fall asleep. Then I got up, went to the bathroom, and cried silently for an hour. But when the sun came up, I made his breakfast. Eggs over easy, turkey bacon, coffee with 2 sugars. Just like always, because I was playing the long game, and the long game required patience. Month 4, something unexpected happened. I got help from someone I never expected. Derek's phone rang one evening while he was in the shower. I saw the screen. It was Tiffany. I answered. "Hello?" Silence on the other end. "Hello?" I said again. Derek's phone. She hung up. 20 minutes later, I got a DM on Instagram from an account with no profile picture. "Are you Monica Pierce Derek's wife?" I should have ignored it, but something told me to respond. "Who's asking?" "Someone who wants to help you. Meet me tomorrow. Starbucks on Peachtree, 2 p.m. Come alone." I almost deleted it, but my instincts, the same instincts that had helped me find fraud for 15 years, told me to go. The next day, I walked into that Starbucks and saw a young woman sitting alone. She wasn't Tiffany, different face, different body. But she knew Derek. Her name was Keisha. She was Derek's ex, from before me, the one Mama Evelyn always talked about. Derek's last girlfriend could really cook. She told me everything. Derek had done the same thing to her, used her, spent her money, cheated on her, left her with nothing. She had been engaged to him, found out 2 weeks before the wedding that he was seeing someone else. Me. I was the other woman. I just didn't know it. "He's a con man," Keisha said. "That's what he does. He finds successful women, makes them fall in love, drains them dry, and moves on to the next one." She showed me documentation from her own experience, credit cards in her name, debts she was still paying off, evidence that she had tried to use in court but couldn't afford a lawyer good enough to fight him. "I lost everything," she said. "My savings, my credit, my confidence. Took me years to recover. I heard he's doing it to you now, and I couldn't let it happen again." I looked at this woman, this stranger who had every reason to hate me. I had unknowingly helped destroy her relationship, and here she was trying to save me from the same fate. "Why are you helping me?" I asked. She smiled sadly. "Because no one helped me, and I wish someone had." She gave me her phone number, her lawyer's contact information, her willingness to testify if I ever needed it. I added her to the team. By month 5, I had everything. A case so airtight that Vivian said she could destroy Derek in her sleep. Financial records showing he had contributed almost nothing in 8 years. Evidence of fraud, identity theft, and dissipation of assets, testimony from witnesses, screenshots of every lie. And I had the video. The video was Denise's idea. "You need something visual," she said. "Something that shows everyone what he did. Not just tells them, shows them." We worked with a professional editor, someone Denise trusted completely. We created a video presentation. A celebration of 8 years of marriage, we called it. It started sweet. Wedding photos, vacation pictures, happy memories. Then it changed. Financial charts showing his contributions versus mine. His $15,000 over 8 years. Mine over $900,000. Screenshots of his texts to Tiffany. "Once I'm done with Monica, we'll be together." Photos of the jewelry he bought her with my money, the hotel receipts, the flight records, the credit card statements, everything laid out. Clear, professional, devastating. "When should we show it?" Denise asked. "Right before midnight, right before the birthday toast, right when everyone is watching." I practiced staying calm. Vivian coached me. "No emotion, no tears, no screaming. You are presenting evidence to a jury of 200 people. Be the professional you are. Let the facts speak." I practiced my words, what I would say, how I would say it, and I waited. 5 months of waiting, 5 months of pretending, 5 months of building the case that would end his life as he knew it. The week before the party, I was ready. Derek had no idea what was coming. He thought he was about to win, thought he was about to humiliate me and ride off into the sunset with his young girlfriend. He thought wrong. And in 7 days, he was going to find out just how wrong he was. 7 days before my birthday, Denise called me at work. "Monica." He added her to the guest list. I knew exactly who she meant. "Tiffany." "Yes. Called me this morning, said she was a business associate and wanted to make sure she was included. Said you had approved it." I smiled. It was the smile of a woman who had been waiting for this exact moment. "Perfect. Make sure she's at table 2, right up front, directly in view of the main screen." "Are you sure?" "I'm positive. I want her to see everything, up close." Denise laughed. "Girl, you are cold. I love it." That night, Derek came home in a good mood, better than usual. He actually sat at dinner with me, made conversation, asked about my day. I knew why. The end was near. For him anyway, he thought he was about to escape, about to finally be free of the wife who didn't understand him. "You excited about the party?" he asked. "Very excited," I said. "It's going to be a night to remember." He had no idea how much I meant that. The next few days moved quickly. Final preparations, last-minute details, making sure everything was perfect. I took a personal day on Wednesday. Told Derek I was getting my hair done for the party, which was true, but that wasn't all I did. I went to Patricia's salon. She had blocked out the whole afternoon for me. New hair, new nails, facial, the works. "You're going to look like a queen," she said, working on my locks. A queen taking back her throne. While she worked, we went over the plan one more time. The party would start at 7, dinner at 8, speeches and toasts at 11. And at 11:45, right before midnight, right before I officially turned 40, the video would play. Vivian would be there. Not as a guest. In the background. Ready with the divorce papers. She had arranged for a process server to attend disguised as catering staff. Angela would be there. Positioned near the AV equipment. Ready to handle any technical issues. Patricia would be there. Right beside me, in case I needed strength. Denise would be running the event, controlling every detail from behind the scenes. Judge Lorraine couldn't attend in person, but she would be watching on video call. "I want to see his face," she said. "I've seen a lot of guilty faces in my courtroom. I want to see his." And Keisha would be there, in the back, ready to step forward if needed, a witness to his pattern, proof that I wasn't his first victim. Everything was in place. Thursday night, 3 days before the party, Mama Evelyn cornered me in the kitchen. "I hope you're not going to make this party all about yourself," she said. I kept my face neutral. "What do you mean, Mama Evelyn?" "Derek has important people coming, business contacts. Don't embarrass him. Don't embarrass him." This woman had lived in my house for 3 years, eaten my food, spent my money, criticized everything I did. And she was worried about me embarrassing her precious son. "I'll be on my best behavior," I said. She looked at me suspiciously, like she could sense something was different, but she couldn't figure out what. "You've been acting strange lately," she said. "Quiet." "I'm always quiet, Mama Evelyn." "Different quiet, like you're planning something." I looked at her. Looked at this woman who had enabled her son to use and abuse women his entire life, who had probably known about Tiffany and said nothing, who was complicit in everything. "I'm just excited about the party," I said. "Turning 40 is a big deal. I want everything to be perfect." She didn't believe me. I could see it in her eyes. But she couldn't prove anything, and in 3 days, it wouldn't matter. Friday, 2 days before the party. Derek came home with a garment bag. "New suit for the party," he said, hanging it in the closet. "Want to look good for your big night." I looked at the tag. Hugo Boss. $1,200, on my credit card, no doubt. "You'll look very handsome," I said. He smiled, that charming smile that had fooled me for 8 years. "Want to take some photos together, show everyone what a happy couple we are." Happy couple. The audacity, the absolute audacity. "That sounds nice," I said. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed next to him, listening to him breathe, and I thought about everything. 8 years. I had given this man 8 years of my life. I had funded his dreams, paid his debts, supported his family, ignored his disrespect, forgave his failures, made excuses for his behavior. And what had he given me? Lies, debt, disrespect, humiliation. He was planning to leave me at my own birthday party, in front of everyone I loved, make me look crazy, take credit for everything I had built. He thought he was going to win. He thought he was smarter than me. He had never been more wrong about anything in his life. Saturday, the day before the party, final check-in with everyone. Vivian called. "Everything is ready. Papers are signed. Process server is confirmed. Monday morning we file everything. By Tuesday his accounts will be frozen." Angela texted. "AV system is tested, video is loaded, password protected, only you and Denise have access." Patricia called. "How are you feeling?" "Ready," I said. "I'm finally ready." "Mom would be so proud of you," she said. "Our mother passed 10 years ago. Patricia always said I was just like her, strong, quiet, patient, but when pushed too far, unstoppable." "I wish she was here to see this," I said. "She is," Patricia said. "She's watching, and she's cheering." That night, Derek was out late. "Last-minute business dinner," he said. I knew he was with Tiffany. One last night before what he thought would be his grand exit, I used the time to pack a bag, clothes for the next few days, important documents, my grandmother's jewelry that I had hidden from him, everything I would need, because after tomorrow night, I wasn't staying in this house with him. Win or lose, succeed or fail, I was done sleeping next to a man who had betrayed me so completely. Patricia had a room ready for me. "However long you need," she said. "This is your home, too." I hid the bag in my car, ready to go. When Derek came home at midnight, I was in bed, pretending to sleep. He climbed in next to me, smelling like wine and her perfume, and fell asleep immediately. I lay there in the dark, counting down the hours. 20 hours until the party started, 23 hours until the guests arrived, 28 hours until the video played, 28 hours until my life changed forever. I didn't sleep that night. I was too excited. Tomorrow I would turn 40. Tomorrow I would take back everything that was mine. Tomorrow I would give Derek Pierce the gift he deserved. The final gift, the truth, end of Act 2. Sunday, my 40th birthday. I woke up at 6 in the morning. Derek was still asleep, snoring, peaceful, dreaming about his future with Tiffany probably. I lay there for a moment looking at the ceiling, thinking about everything that had led to this day. 8 years of marriage, 5 months of planning, 847 pages of evidence, 200 guests, one moment that would change everything. Today was the day. I got out of bed quietly, went to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror. 40 years old, not young, somewhere in between. Wiser than I was at 30, stronger than I was at 20, ready for whatever came next. I took a long shower, did my skincare routine, put on comfortable clothes for now. The glam would come later. When I came downstairs, Mama Evelyn was already in the kitchen, making herself breakfast, in my kitchen, with my food, as usual. "Happy birthday," she said without looking at me. No hug, no warmth, just words. "Thank you, Mama Evelyn." "Big party tonight. Don't mess it up." I smiled. "I won't." Derek came down around 10, made a show of wishing me happy birthday, brought me flowers, store-bought, last minute. Probably bought them on the way home from Tiffany's last night. "Happy birthday, baby," he said, kissing my cheek. "Tonight is going to be special." "I know it will be." He had no idea how special. The day passed in a blur of preparation. Hair appointment at noon, Patricia's salon. She had her best stylists waiting for me. "You ready?" she asked as they worked on my locks. "More ready than I've ever been for anything." "Remember, stay calm. No matter what happens, you are in control." "I know." Makeup at 3. A professional artist Denise had hired. Flawless foundation. Dramatic eyes. Bold lip. I looked like a queen. I felt like a warrior. Dress at 5. A custom gown I had ordered 3 months ago. Emerald green. Fitted. Floor length with a slit up the side. Elegant, but powerful. The kind of dress that says, "I am not to be underestimated." When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see the tired, invisible wife anymore. I saw Monica Pierce, forensic accountant, survivor, fighter, winner. The venue was our house, transformed by Denise into something magical. White flowers everywhere, candles, soft lighting, a stage area with screens for the video presentation. Tables arranged so everyone could see. 200 guests, our families, our friends, church members, colleagues, everyone who mattered in our social circle. And one special guest, seated at table 2, right up front. Guests started arriving at 7. I stood at the entrance with Derek greeting everyone. The perfect couple. Smiling, thanking people for coming, accepting birthday wishes. "Monica, you look stunning." "Derek, you're a lucky man. What a beautiful party." Derek played his role perfectly. Attentive husband, proud partner, his hand on my back, his smile wide, his lies smooth. 40 years of beautiful, he said to someone. And I get to spend them all with her. The audacity, the absolute audacity. I smiled and said nothing. Let him have his moment, his last moment of believing he was winning. At 7:30, I saw her. Tiffany James walked through the door like she owned the place. 29 years old, pretty, young, wearing a red dress that I recognized from my credit card statement. $1,800, Saks Fifth Avenue. She had done her hair, full makeup, dressed to impress, thought she was coming to celebrate with her man, thought she was about to witness his grand exit, thought tonight was the beginning of their future together. She had no idea she was walking into her own nightmare. Derek spotted her immediately. I felt his body tense next to me, saw his eyes light up in a way they never lit up for me. "I need to go greet some business associates," he said. "Be right back." I watched him walk toward her, watched him shake her hand professionally. But I saw the way he looked at her, the way she looked at him, the secret smile between them. They thought they were being subtle. They thought no one noticed. Everyone noticed. I saw the whispers start, people leaning toward each other. Who's that? Why is she looking at him like that? Something's off. Good. Let them wonder. In a few hours, they would know everything. Patricia appeared at my side. "She's here," she said quietly. "I see her." "You okay?" "I'm perfect." Angela was in position near the AV equipment. Denise was managing everything behind the scenes. Vivian was in the back near the kitchen, invisible but ready. The process server was dressed as catering staff carrying a tray of champagne. Everyone was in place. The game was about to begin. Dinner was served at 8. Elegant, expensive, all paid for by me, of course. Derek had offered to help with costs. Wrote a check for $500. The caterer alone cost $12,000. I sat at the head table with Derek Mama Evelyn and a few close family members. Tiffany was at table 2, close enough to see everything, far enough to maintain the business associate charade. Throughout dinner, I watched Derek watch her. Every few minutes his eyes would drift to her table. She would look back. That secret communication between cheaters, thinking they were invisible. My mother-in-law noticed too, but she wasn't disgusted. She was pleased. I caught her smiling at Tiffany once, a knowing smile, an approving smile. She knew, she had known all along, and she approved. That realization should have hurt. Instead, it just confirmed what I already knew. This whole family was rotten, and tonight I was cutting them all out of my life. After dinner came the mingling, people moving between tables, conversations, laughter, the sound of a successful party. Derek worked the room like a politician, shaking hands, making jokes, building his alibi. I love my wife so much. Monica is my everything. We're so blessed. Every word a lie, every smile a performance. I worked the room too, but differently. I talked to the people who mattered, the witnesses, made sure they remembered this night, made sure they remembered seeing us together, seeing him attentive, seeing the happy couple. Because when everything came out, I wanted them to remember. I wanted them to understand how deep the deception went. At 10 o'clock, Derek found Tiffany in the corner. I was watching from across the room. They thought they were hidden. They weren't. He leaned close to her, whispered something. She giggled. He touched her arm. Just for a second. But I saw it. Patricia saw it too. She was filming on her phone. More evidence, just in case. At 10:30, Derek approached me. "Great party, baby," he said. "Everyone's having a wonderful time." "I'm glad." I was thinking maybe I should say a few words. Toast to my beautiful wife, before the birthday cake. This was it. His moment. He was planning to make his speech say something that would set up his exit, maybe even announce something that would make me react emotionally. "That sounds lovely," I said. "But actually, I have a surprise planned. A video presentation. Our love story through the years. I thought we could watch it together before the toast." His face flickered, just for a second. Concern, suspicion. But then he smiled. "That sounds wonderful, baby. Can't wait to see it." You really can't, I thought. You really, really can't. At 11 o'clock, Denise took the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please?" The room quieted. 200 faces turned toward the stage. "Before we bring out the birthday cake, Monica has prepared a special presentation, a celebration of her life, her journey, and her marriage. Please direct your attention to the screens." The lights dimmed. The screens lit up, and everything changed. The video started sweet. Our wedding day, Me in my white dress, Derek in his tuxedo, young, hopeful, in love, or at least I was in love. I know now he was already calculating. Photos of our early years, vacations, holidays, birthdays, the life we had built together, or rather the life I had built while he watched. Soft music played, people smiled. I heard someone say, "Aw." Derek relaxed beside me. He thought this was safe, thought this was just a sentimental tribute. He was wrong. The music changed, the photos faded, and the first slide appeared. 8 years of marriage, a financial summary. Derek's smile froze. The numbers appeared on screen. Big, clear, impossible to miss. Monica's total income, 8 years, $160,000. Derek's total income, 8 years, $440,000. Derek's contribution to household, $47,000. Monica's contribution to household, $892,000. Murmurs in the crowd. People looking at each other, looking at Derek, looking at me. The next slide. Who paid for what? Mortgage payments. Monica, 100% utility bills. Monica, 100% car payments. Both vehicles. Monica, 100% groceries. Monica, 100% medical bills for Mother Washington. Monica, $24,000 loans to Tasha. Washington. Monica, $32,000. The murmurs grew louder. Mama Evelyn stood up. "What is this? Turn it off." No one turned it off. The next slide. Derek's business ventures, funded by Monica, sports memorabilia company, $30,000. Failed dropshipping business, $45,000. Failed cryptocurrency, consulting, $25,000. Failed, total lost, $100,000. People gasped. I heard someone say, "Oh my God." Derek grabbed my arm. "Monica, what are you doing? Turn this off." I looked at him calmly. "Watch the video, baby. It gets better." The next slide. The next. Secret credit cards in Monica's name. 3 credit cards opened without Monica's knowledge. Total debt accumulated $72,000 used for hotels, restaurants, flights, jewelry. None purchased for Monica. The room was buzzing now, people standing up, craning to see, whispering. Some were recording on their phones. And then came the part everyone would remember, the slide that changed everything. Where did the money really go? Tiffany James, age 29, pharmaceutical sales representative, relationship with Derek Pierce, 18 months. Her photo appeared on screen, the same photo from her Instagram. Beautiful, smiling, innocent. The room exploded, people shouting, gasping, some laughing in disbelief. All heads turned to table 2, to Tiffany, who was sitting there frozen, face white, mouth open. But I wasn't done. The next slides showed the receipts, Tiffany and Company. $400. Diamond bracelet. Louis Vuitton, $1,800. Handbag, Four Seasons Hotel, $856. One night, flight to Miami, $1,200. 2 tickets. Flight to New York, $800. 2 tickets. Each receipt, each purchase, each betrayal, documented, time-stamped, undeniable. And then the texts. His actual text messages appeared on screen, screenshots I had saved 5 months ago. "Can't wait to see you tonight, beautiful. You understand me in ways she never could. Soon we'll be together for real. Once I'm done with Monica, it'll be our time." The room went silent, dead silent. You could hear people breathing. And then the final text, the one that explained everything. "After Monica's 40th birthday party I'm filing, using the party as cover. Everyone will see how crazy she is when I leave." I heard Mama Evelyn scream, heard Tiffany start crying, heard the chaos erupt around me. But I stayed calm, just like Vivian taught me, just like I had practiced for 5 months. I stood up, walked to the stage, took the microphone from Denise. The room quieted. 200 faces stared at me, waiting. 8 years, I said. My voice was steady, clear, professional. I gave this man 8 years of my life. I looked at Derek. He was still sitting at the table, frozen, like a deer in headlights. I paid for his education. I funded his businesses. I supported his family. I kept his mother. I paid his sister's bills. I bought his cars. I maintained our home. I did everything a good wife is supposed to do. I paused. And in return, he stole from me. He lied to me. He opened credit cards in my name without my permission. He spent my money on another woman, and he planned to leave me tonight, at my own birthday party, in front of all of you. The silence was deafening. He thought I was stupid, thought because I was quiet I was blind, thought because I was patient I was weak. I smiled. He forgot who he married. He married an accountant, a forensic accountant, someone who finds fraud for a living, someone who sees everything. I looked at Tiffany. She was crying, makeup running down her face. Tiffany, I don't blame you. He lied to you too, told you we were separated, told you he paid for everything, told you I was the problem, but now you know the truth. The man you thought you were getting, he doesn't exist. He's broke. He's in debt. And everything he promised you was paid for with my money. Tiffany stood up, stumbled toward the exit. Someone tried to stop her. She pushed past them and ran. I turned back to the crowd. I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm not doing this to humiliate anyone. I'm doing this because I refuse to be a victim. I refuse to let this man walk away with my money, my home, and my dignity while painting me as the villain. I looked at Mama Evelyn. She was crying too, but not sad tears, angry tears, at me. Mrs. Washington, I paid for your medications for 3 years. I drove you to every doctor's appointment. I fed you. I housed you. And you knew about this affair, didn't you? You approved of it. She didn't answer. Her silence was answer enough. You and your son can leave my house tonight. You have until tomorrow to collect your things. The crowd gasped, and then I saw him, the process server, walking toward Derek with an envelope in his hand. Derek Pierce. Derek looked up, dazed, confused. You've been served. The envelope landed on the table in front of him. Divorce petition, asset freeze, fraud complaint, restraining order pending. Derek grabbed the envelope, tore it open, started reading. His face went from white to red to purple. You can't do this, he shouted. This is my house. We're married. You can't just... Actually, I can, I said calmly. The house was purchased with my inheritance. The deed is in my name. The mortgage payments come from my account. Legally, it's my house. Always has been. I stepped off the stage. Vivian! My attorney stepped forward from the back of the room. Mr. Pierce, I'm Vivian Cross, attorney for Mrs. Pierce. The documents you're holding include a complete accounting of your fraud against my client. Identity theft, credit card fraud, dissipation of marital assets. The criminal complaint has already been filed with the district attorney's office. They'll be in touch. Derek stood up, knocked over his chair. This is entrapment. This is illegal. You can't just ambush me like this. Vivian smiled, that cold, professional smile. There's nothing illegal about presenting truthful information, Mr. Pierce. Every document, every screenshot, every receipt is authentic and legally obtained. Your wife is an auditor. She knows how to build a case. The room was chaos now, people talking over each other, some leaving, some staying to watch, some recording everything on their phones. Patricia appeared at my side, put her arm around me. You okay? I'm better than okay. I'm free. Derek was still sputtering, still trying to explain, but no one was listening. His colleagues were walking toward the exit. His church friends were avoiding eye contact. His reputation was dissolving in real time. Mama Evelyn grabbed her purse and marched toward me. You evil, conniving witch! How dare you embarrass my son like this, after everything he's done for you? I looked at her. This woman who had lived in my house for 3 years, who had eaten my food, who had criticized everything I did, who had known her son was cheating and said nothing. What exactly has he done for me? Mrs. Washington, name one thing. She opened her mouth, closed it, couldn't think of anything. That's what I thought. You have until noon tomorrow to remove your belongings from my house. If you're not gone by then, the sheriff will remove you." She screamed something at me. I didn't hear it. I was already walking away. The party was over, but my life was just beginning. At the door, I passed Judge Lorraine. She had arrived in the last few minutes just in time to see the finale. "I'm proud of you, baby girl," she said, hugging me. "Your mother would be proud, too. I couldn't have done it without you. You did all the hard work. I just pointed you in the right direction." I looked back at the room one last time, saw Derek sitting alone at the table, papers scattered in front of him, head in his hands. Saw his mother yelling at anyone who would listen. Saw the empty chair where Tiffany had been sitting. 8 years of marriage. Over in one night. But really, it had been over for a long time. I just finally had the courage to admit it. I walked out of my house, got in my car, and drove to Patricia's place. Behind me, the birthday party of a lifetime was ending. In front of me, the best years of my life were just beginning. The next 2 weeks were chaos. Beautiful, satisfying chaos. Monday morning, Vivian filed everything. Divorce petition, emergency asset freeze, fraud complaint with the district attorney, motion for exclusive use of the marital home. By Monday afternoon, Derek's bank accounts were frozen. Every penny. He couldn't touch a dime without court approval. He tried to fight it, of course. Hired some cheap lawyer who promised he could make this go away. That lawyer took one look at my evidence file and advised Derek to settle. Derek refused, said I was lying, said I had manipulated everything, said I was crazy. So we went to court. The hearing was 2 weeks after the party. Emergency motion, Judge Catherine Williams presiding. A black woman in her 60s, 20 years on the family court bench. She had seen everything. Vivian presented our case first, methodically, professionally, 847 pages of evidence reduced to the most damaging highlights. Financial records showing Derek's minimal contributions over 8 years. Credit card statements proving he opened accounts in my name without permission. Text messages proving the affair and his plan to leave me at my birthday party. Receipts showing he spent marital funds on his mistress. The video from the party entered as evidence. Derek's lawyer tried to object, tried to claim the evidence was obtained illegally, tried to paint me as a vindictive wife. Judge Williams shut him down. "Counselor, your client opened credit cards in his wife's name without her knowledge. That's identity theft. He used marital funds for an extramarital affair. That's dissipation. He planned to publicly humiliate her at her own birthday party. Everything Mrs. Pierce did was in response to his actions. I suggest you focus on minimizing your client's exposure rather than attacking his victim." When it was Derek's turn to speak, he made it worse. He rambled. He blamed me for working too much, blamed me for not being supportive enough, blamed me for his failed businesses, said he deserved to find happiness elsewhere because I wasn't meeting his needs. Judge Williams listened with increasing disgust. "Mr. Pierce," she said when he finished, "let me make sure I understand. Your wife worked 60-hour weeks to support your family. She paid for your education, your businesses, your mother's medical care, your sister's debts, and you felt entitled to steal from her and have an affair because she wasn't meeting your needs." Derek's lawyer tried to intervene. "Your Honor, my client simply meant—" "I know exactly what your client meant. I've heard it 1,000 times. Men who contribute nothing but expect everything, who take and take and take, then blame their wives when they finally get caught." She shuffled through the papers in front of her. "Here's what I'm ordering. The marital home is awarded to Mrs. Pierce. She purchased it with her inheritance. She made all the payments. It's her property." Derek stood up. "That's not fair. I lived there for 8 years." "Sit down, Mr. Pierce. You lived there because your wife allowed you to. You contributed almost nothing to its upkeep." She continued, "Both vehicles are awarded to Mrs. Pierce. They're in her name, purchased with her credit paid for with her income. All credit card debt incurred by Mr. Pierce without Mrs. Pierce's knowledge is his sole responsibility, $72,000. Mr. Pierce is ordered to reimburse Mrs. Pierce for funds spent on the affair. Pending final calculation estimated at $47,000. Full divorce granted on grounds of adultery and fraud." Mr. Pierce is ordered to pay Mrs. Pierce's attorney fees. Your wife spent money she shouldn't have had to spend because of your deception." Derek was shaking. His lawyer was furiously taking notes. But it wasn't over. Additionally, Judge Williams said, "The court is referring Mr. Pierce's conduct to the district attorney's office for potential criminal prosecution. Identity theft is a felony in this state." Derek collapsed back into his chair. "Mrs. Pierce," the judge said, looking at me, "you conducted yourself with remarkable composure throughout this process. You documented everything. You followed the legal process. You protected yourself without breaking any laws. I wish more women in your position had your strength and strategic thinking." "Thank you, Your Honor." Court is adjourned. I walked out of that courtroom a free woman, divorced, vindicated, whole. Vivian met me in the hallway. "Congratulations, Monica. That's one of the most satisfying cases I've ever handled. I couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have. You did all the hard work. I just presented it." Patricia hugged me. Angela hugged me. Denise hugged me. My sister circle surrounding me with love. Outside the courthouse, I saw Derek getting into a cheap rental car. His BMW had been repossessed. He was living in a motel now. Mama Evelyn was staying with his aunt across town. Tasha had stopped answering his calls when she realized there was no more money coming. He saw me looking. Our eyes met for a moment. I expected to feel something. Satisfaction, triumph, maybe even pity. Instead, I felt nothing. He was already fading from my life, becoming irrelevant. I got in my car and drove home. My home. Finally, truly mine. Over the next few months, Derek's life continued to crumble. The district attorney charged him with identity theft and fraud. He pled guilty to avoid trial, got 2 years probation and a felony record. With a felony record, his career was over. No company would hire a sales director who had been convicted of fraud. He ended up working at a car dealership, minimum wage plus commission. A far cry from the lifestyle he had enjoyed on my dime. Tiffany had disappeared that night and never came back. I heard through the grapevine that she had found debt in her name too. Derek had done to her what he did to me. Opened credit cards, made promises, left her holding the bag. She filed a police report, joined the list of women he had defrauded. Keisha, his ex, reached out to me after the party. Said she had been watching the video online. Yes, someone had posted it. It went viral in certain circles. The birthday party takedown, they called it. "You did what I couldn't do," she said. "Thank you." Mama Evelyn tried to contact me once, left a voicemail saying I had destroyed her family and that God would punish me. I deleted it without responding. She wasn't my family. She never was. Tasha sent me a text asking for money. Can you believe that after everything? She actually asked me for money, said her kids needed school supplies. I sent her the number for a social services agency and blocked her number. The church was divided. Some people supported me, said I had done what needed to be done, said Derek had it coming. Others said I had gone too far, said I should have handled it privately, said a wife shouldn't humiliate her husband publicly. I stopped going to that church. Mother Ernestine the elder, who had always been kind to me, invited me to a different congregation, a smaller church, more progressive, focused on healing rather than judgment. God doesn't expect you to suffer in silence, she told me. God wants you whole. You did what you had to do to become whole. I started attending her church, found peace there, found community. The women in the congregation treated me like a hero, asked me questions, wanted to know how I had done it, how I had found the strength. I was tired, I told them. Tired of being invisible, tired of being used, tired of giving everything and getting nothing. At some point you have to choose yourself. 3 months after the divorce, I sold some of my investment properties, used the money to pay off the house completely. No more mortgage, no more debt. Everything I had was mine free and clear. I redecorated, got rid of everything that reminded me of him. New furniture, new colors, new energy. Patricia helped me paint the bedroom. Denise helped me redesign the living room. Angela helped me organize my finances, my sister circle, my real family. 4 months after the divorce, I got promoted, Senior Director of Forensic Accounting. a corner office, a team of my own, recognition for 15 years of excellent work. My boss said I had been overdue for promotion for years, but I had always been too tired, too distracted, too burdened to push for it. Now I had the energy. Now I had the focus. Now I had nothing holding me back. 5 months after the divorce, I took a vacation, my first real vacation in 10 years. 2 weeks in Jamaica, just me, alone, reading books, swimming in the ocean, sleeping late, eating good food. I didn't think about Derek once. 6 months after the divorce, I ran into him. At the grocery store of all places. He was in the produce section, looking thinner, older, worn down. He saw me, froze for a moment, then walked over. Monica. Derek. We stood there surrounded by fruits and vegetables, two people who had once shared a life. "You look good," he said. "Happy." "I am happy. I'm glad." He paused. "I'm sorry. For everything." I looked at him, looked for anger, looked for pain, found nothing. "I believe you're sorry, Derek. I believe you're sorry you got caught. Sorry you lost everything. Sorry your plan didn't work." He flinched. "But I don't think you're sorry for what you did. I don't think you're capable of that." He started to speak. I held up my hand. "I'm not interested in your apologies. I'm not interested in your excuses. I'm not interested in anything you have to say. Our story is over. Has been over for a long time. I'm just glad I finally realized it." I put my groceries in my cart. "Goodbye, Derek. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. But you won't find it by using other people. You'll have to build something yourself, honestly, without lies, without manipulation. I hope you learn how." I walked away, didn't look back. At the checkout line, my phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. "Hi, Monica, this is Marcus. We met at the gallery opening last week. I know this is forward, but I can't stop thinking about our conversation. Would you like to get coffee sometime?" I smiled. Marcus, the handsome man with the kind eyes who had approached me at the art gallery, who had told me he admired my strength, who had made me laugh for the first time in months. I texted back, "Coffee sounds nice. How about Saturday?" His response came immediately. "Saturday is perfect. Can't wait." I finished checking out, loaded my groceries in my car, drove home to my house, my beautiful, peaceful Derek-free house, 40 years old, divorced, successful, happy. The best years of my life were just beginning. It's been a year since my 40th birthday party, the party that ended my marriage, the party that saved my life. I'm sitting on my back porch right now. It's a Sunday morning, the sun is warm, the birds are singing, I have a cup of coffee in my hand and know where I need to be. This is peace, real peace, the kind I forgot existed. Let me tell you where everyone is now. Derek is still working at that car dealership, still on probation for the fraud conviction, still living in a small apartment on the other side of town. I heard he tried to date a few women, but word got around. Nobody wants a man with his reputation. Mama Evelyn moved to Florida, went to live with her sister. I hear she tells everyone down there that I destroyed her son's life, conveniently leaves out the part where he stole from me and cheated on me for 18 months. Tasha finally got a job, a real job. Turns out when there's no one to bail you out, you figure out how to take care of yourself. Her kids are doing okay. I don't hold any grudge against them. They're innocent in all this. Tiffany moved away too. Started over somewhere. I hope she learned from this. I hope she's more careful about the men she trusts. I don't wish her harm. She was a victim too, just a different kind of victim. And me, I'm thriving. My career has never been better. I'm leading a team of 12 forensic accountants now. We find fraud. We protect people. We make sure the cheaters and the liars don't win. My health has never been better. My blood pressure is normal for the first time in years. I lost 25 pounds without trying. Turns out stress was killing me slowly. Remove the stress and your body starts healing itself. My spirit has never been better. I found a church that feeds my soul instead of draining it. I pray. I meditate. I thank God every day for giving me the strength to choose myself. My sister circle is stronger than ever. Patricia, Denise, Angela, we meet every month. Brunch on the first Sunday. We laugh, we talk, we support each other. That's what family really looks like. And Marcus is wonderful. We've been dating for 6 months now, taking it slow, learning each other. He's kind, he's honest, he works hard, he makes his own money. He doesn't need me to take care of him. He just wants to love me. Last week he told me he loved me for the first time. We were cooking dinner together in my kitchen. He stopped what he was doing, looked at me and said, "Monica, I love you. Not for what you can do for me, not for what you can give me. I love you for who you are." I cried. Good tears, healing tears. This is what love is supposed to feel like. Equal, mutual, respectful. I spent 8 years thinking love meant sacrifice, thinking it meant giving everything and expecting nothing, thinking it meant being invisible while someone else shined. I was wrong. Love is supposed to lift you up, not drain you dry. People ask me all the time about that birthday party. The video has millions of views now. People call it the greatest birthday revenge ever. They want to know how I did it, how I stayed calm, how I planned everything. But here's what I tell them. It wasn't revenge. It was survival. I didn't expose Derek to hurt him. I exposed him to save myself. Because if I had let him execute his plan, I would have been painted as the villain. I would have lost everything. My home, my money, my reputation, my peace of mind. He wanted to control the narrative. I took the narrative back. That's not revenge. That's self-defense. To every woman listening to this story right now, I want to say something. If you're in a marriage where you're carrying everything, where you're invisible, where you're being used and taken for granted, you are not alone. If you're with a man who spends your money, lies to your face, makes you feel small, and expects you to be grateful for the privilege of serving him, you are not crazy for wanting more. If you've been told that a good wife suffers in silence, that a good woman holds her family together, no matter what that love means, sacrifice without reciprocity, you have been lied to. You deserve better. You deserve a partner who contributes equally, who values your contributions, who sees you, who appreciates you, who would never dream of betraying you. And if you don't have that, you have the power to leave. I know it's scary. I know the finances are complicated. I know there are children involved sometimes. I know the church might not understand. I know your family might judge you. But here's what I know more than anything. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot carry everyone forever. At some point, the weight will crush you. Choose yourself. Document everything. Save your receipts. Know your rights. Build a network of people who support you. Find a lawyer who will fight for you. Make a plan. And when you're ready, when you have everything in place, take back your life. I gave Derek 8 years. 8 years of my youth, my energy, my money, my love. But I didn't give him my future. That belongs to me. My husband brought his mistress to my birthday party. He thought he was humiliating me. He thought he was showing the world that I wasn't enough. He thought he was winning. Instead, he gave me the greatest gift anyone has ever given me, the gift of clarity, the gift of freedom, the gift of finally choosing myself. I'm 41 now, single, successful, happy, at peace. The best chapter of my life didn't start when I got married. It started when I got divorced. So if you're out there suffering in silence, carrying everyone disappearing piece by piece, hear me. You don't have to stay. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be invisible. You can choose yourself. You can rebuild. You can thrive. I did it, and so can you. This is Monica Pierce, forensic accountant, survivor, queen. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for choosing yourself, whatever that looks like for you. If this story meant something to you, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you are not invisible. You are not worthless. You are not stuck. You are powerful. You are valuable. You are free. Now go live like it. The end.